Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 13. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here and welcome back to this week's news report, where once again it is time to have a view back on the last week, what has happened. Plenty of things actually going on in the world right now, and it certainly has a big effect on what it is that we are doing here also. One of the items that we're going to have a look at in this particular video here is obviously our link to success service through Expert Forex. So that is quite interesting, and that is one of the very good ways that you can actually make money. One of the items in here is you can actually adopt any signals in here from either professional or amateur traders. It doesn't really matter as long as the numbers are good and you're happy with them. You can upscale or downscale also, depending on your own risk strategy in here. And we're going to try and show you some of the individual links here today also, why we think either they're good or why they're bad. And of course, we're also going to highlight our own ones in here because there is quite a few. One of the things that we have is now new links that you can actually set up for yourself here. We already have traded those for months in the background here, and then you have been able to see them also on our website. So we'll go into a bit more detail. We will actually show you also which links they are. They're right here on the screen right now, so you can see the new ones. You'll notice here straight away that there is 4 different EAs that is actually in here. So we have all the Wave Liberator EAs in there now, all the signals that we actually set up. And obviously these are constantly being updated to make sure that they stay good. And obviously they have to be very good also just to make it into the link to success service. All of this we're going to go over, and you can obviously see the results through this entire video. Obviously there is more than this, also stuff like the Trade Explorer that we had for a long time. We have the Lucky Trader, we have the Hedged EA, we have a lot of different EAs that we're going to go through as usual to see the profits for the week. And that is unfortunately a bit down this week because I believe everybody is a bit in a limbo here. We are waiting for the 2nd of April to come, where a lot of these tariffs are now going to take place all around the world, and that will have a big impact already. We can see again the Dow also when we talk about the stock markets, things like this was down by more than 700 points last week here. It's going to be interesting to see how this week is going to go, but I believe it's going to be a very volatile one. So otherwise we'll have to obviously analyze why it wasn't at the end of the day. But one of the things we know is volatile at the moment, which is really on the move here, is something similar to what we described last week here, our SAP PNY coins. They are coming to new all-time highs, and we're going to have a closer look at that together with Yieldnodes. So we start off at Yieldnodes, and as usual we're going to have a look at the order coin reserves, what we have for this particular week in here, because that's the only update we get. And then we move in. We can see last week's here, week 12. We can see the individual masternodes that are running and the numbers. So last time there was a very few ones in here, especially when we go to the PNY 272. That's now up by 3, so that's good. Also when we go to the SAP in here, 3908, we can see 3921. So we can see additional 13 has been added. And the same also goes for 777 and the rest of them down here. So it looks like there has been some movements within the Yieldnodes Decenomy Coins in this particular week in here on the masternoding, which is actually quite nice to see. But as always, it all depends on the coin price. And I did actually manage to say that there has been some volatility, but that's not really on the price itself in here. So that is more based on the profits overall that we have gotten, which we're getting to in a second. Unfortunately, not much of a change. You can see this is pretty much 0 down here. That has now been added into it. The good part is that there's actually only been buys this particular week here. Obviously not in great amounts, but at least something is happening. But it is very, very limited, and it's actually depending very much from week to week. We'll see some movements, but again, this is far from enough to actually get into a point where the coin price is going up again. So in the meantime, the only thing we can enjoy is actually the staking that we have. And for the week, you'll notice here 9.5%, 8,131 sat. And when we're also next week here is going to have a look at the overall month, how it's gone. Well, you can see already that the month of March has already passed 28,892. And clearly it's going up here because we still have a day or so to go as this video here is being produced. And the same actually also goes here for the PNY. That has also had some massive increases here, so very nice to see. But again, even though that we made 11.1% with 6,916 PNY, obviously you also need a decent coin price in order to actually get anything out of it at all. Now we also have to look at Bitcoin, and that last time we left it just a plus of 87,000, so about 87,250 I believe. Since then it actually managed to get almost all up to 89,000, and with everything else that has been going on this week, it has been pretty much a slippery slope all the way down here now to about 81,000 where it's currently trading. And obviously, as I said in the beginning of the video here, I believe everybody is a bit in a limbo. They want to see exactly how the markets are reacting tomorrow, 2nd of August, where all these new tariffs are coming into play. So basically issued by the US, but has an effect all around the world. But obviously we cannot see that out of Bitcoin. So we're going to go straight to the Trade Explorer instead, because we know that one is always cashing in quite nicely. The new 6-pair one that I now created here about a month ago, $204, so 2% for the week. And pretty much pairs up very nicely again with the 10-pair one that came in with 220 and 2.2% overall. So we're going to have a closer look and just see how that developed as usual. So the floating profit and loss is extremely low here at the moment. So just -9, cashed in several hundred% already. Remember, this one started with 10,000. And it's now up at 54,600. So just going up, up and up. And as we remember here, so as I told you many times, so all these little jumps here is actually drawdowns that then turn around and turns into big profits over time. Monthly returns is 7.2%, but that's because we are not increasing the lot size as the balance are actually increasing, because it's used for the coupling service up here. This is the most used link in here at the moment, 146C, and you can also see why, because the history goes back 683 days, and you can see all the currency pairs that we have in here. Some of them are actually quite volatile, but this particular EA here seems to have managed it, and with the trade wins of more than 75%, it is definitely one of the best ones. Now, if we look at how the 220 pairs, well, last week was 237, and the weeks before it was a lot higher, also where we had some volatility in the market. Expect to see this one here go up for the next week. I will be very surprised if it doesn't. And we're also going to have a look at the 6-pair one. So this one is now 31 days old, so pretty much 1 month. Balance started off with 10,000. It's now at 11,564. Floating profit or loss is -13. And then total return on this particular one is about 15.5%. So very nice. Monthly return is calculated at 14.2. Weekly returns 3.2. And also here trade wins very high, 75% in here. Trades per day is a bit lower than the other one because obviously we have cut out 4 pairs, which are the ones that have created the biggest drawdowns in the past history. So we have about 8.4 trades per day. And if we go and have a look, we can also see we have some good numbers apart from last week, which was very low for this particular one. 204 this week, 169. And then we had the volatile periods with 500 and 600. And obviously that's where we want to get back to again. Wave Liberator still doing very well. One of the oldest EAs that we are actually producing in here together with the Trade Explorer. And that has also done quite well, but not in the top range. Still, the top 5 EAs is doing well. Euro Swiss francs, $43 on a $1,000 account. That's actually 4.3%. And that is well over 10% per month. So definitely approved. US Japanese, remember, and you go have a look again here. The Japanese one, we have found the way to actually trade this particular currency pair, and it's cashing in most of the time, as you'll see, with $31, 3.1%. Same here for British pounds Japanese, $25, 2.5%. Aussie Japanese, $21, 2.1%. And then we have New Zealand Japanese, $19, 1.9%, with a total of $139, 2.8%. It is basically the new setup that we have in here. We can keep even the Japanese currencies under control on the drawdown and still cashing in quite nicely. That's what it's all about, 2.8% overall. If you get that per week, well, you are in the double digits on the monthly profits. And it looks like this on the graph here again. Very nice, very smooth. And again, we started off with 22 accounts, 220,000. We have a floating profit and loss, and this actually still goes on from the US, actually trending. So back in the end of 2024. So we still have something where the accounts are cashing in, but they haven't closed the big amounts here yet. And also total returns, 19%. Monthly returns is 11% if you traded on $1,000 accounts. Weekly returns should be 3%, and trade wins are quite good, also 69.9%, with trades per day of 14 and a 587 days of history in here. And you can now find, as I mentioned in the beginning here, we have all of these linking services. The last one was actually CAD Swiss francs. Has now been changed, added, and it's now good enough to go on the service here also. So you have a full set of 22 different links. You can find all of them on our website. Go and have a look for yourself. Again, the history, 587 days, 216 is the entire profit for the portfolio. So it is very low. You can see that. 382 was the week before, and then you can see the volatile period in the beginning of March, 600. So let's see if we can get back to some kind of number also here. The highest we have in is actually at the moment back in September, about 9 and 800s. So these are really good numbers, but the market has changed a lot since then. And the same goes for the RSI Liberator, also in here. Some good numbers, steady numbers, but they are not the highest ones we've seen in the past. EuroCAD comes in at number 1. $43, 4.3%, with Great British Pounds, see, another Japanese one, $35, 3.5%, and then New Zealand CAD, $21, 2.1%, with Swiss francs, another Japanese here, $20, 2%, and then Euro Swiss francs, $20, 2%, $138, and 2.8% overall for these top 5 in here. So again, you are above 10% mark if you would have traded those here. So, and you continue to trade them, hopefully you will get even higher than just 10%. And if we have a look at the entire portfolio, again, we have 22 accounts of this. Floating profit and loss is a bit lower. We would like to get it even lower, but also here we have a few US that are still open. And we will notice here that the monthly returns has dropped a bit because the market has changed. So it's about 9% at the moment overall, where some are better than others. Trade wins are 66%, with trades per day is actually up to 18. And then with a history of 356 days. So we are very, very close to 1 year. Should hit that one by next week. Also here, as I mentioned, you can go on our website and we have the new links that you saw in the beginning, and I will show them also again a bit later. Otherwise, take a screenshot, go on our website, and then you can look at the individual ones to see which ones you actually want to have a look at. So there is more and more in here. They are doing extremely well. And if you are not liking the profit factor itself, if you think some of them are too risky, you can dial it down with the copy link service in here just to match it out. So if you think that the 221 that we got this particular week, 230 last week, is not enough, you can up your own risk in here. It's obviously at your own peril. So at the end of the day, so we are trying to get you a good idea of where it's supposed to be, where you can be safe and sleep at night kind of trading in here, but it's up to you. All of these EAs and a lot more of them, you can obviously find on our website. Simply go on hightechinvestment.com, go to portfolio, and from there on you'll see all our news reports where you can actually follow our progress with all these EAs every single week. You click on the Hedged EA and you'll get to this particular site in here where it'll tell you again for the week 13 the top 5 EAs, which is again very low numbers even for the Hedged EA. Great British Pounds AUD only at $30 or 3%, but still more than of course 10% for the month. Euro Swiss francs $30 3%, Great British Pounds Swiss francs $19 1.9%, and Aussie USD $13 1.3%, and New Zealand Swiss francs all the way down to $11 1.1%, with a total of $103 or 2.1%. It is disappointing for this particular EA because it is normally up in the top range, but so is the market at the moment, and we have to deal with this. But the numbers are still very good. We have 70 days of history here now. Trade wins are almost 70%, 69.8 as you'll notice. Monthly returns for the entire portfolio still here is 12% on $1,000 accounts. And we have 16 accounts in here running. We have floating profit and loss at the moment of minus 4,268. Pretty much matches up with the closed profit at the moment. But so it goes with these particular EAs. There is a bit of a drag. So for the first month or two until you show good profitability, and then basically that level continues all the way through. So it is easy to manage. And also here we have new again EAs coming on for the copy link service, the link to success with Expert Forex. Again, all of them can be traded on $1,000 accounts. All you have to do is go and visit our website, click the links, and then you'll get to the FX Blue site. Overall, these are the numbers with the 70 days of history. Only 127 for the portfolio, very disappointing. But again, this is down to the markets. This is not because we have made major changes in our settings at all. But you'll notice here 226, 400, and obviously it did very well when we had the volatile market here about a month ago, 996. And let's hope we're going to get back to something similar here again this week. We're going to have a look at the Lucky Trader. So also this one is actually down. So all other ones for the grid trading. So when you have low volatility, then obviously you also have a low cash in. So that's why you have New Zealand Swiss francs as the top 5, only cashing in at $22, 2.2%. Same here for the Great British Pounds USD, $22, 2.2%. With New Zealand CAD at $21, 2.1%. And then Euro, Great British Pounds, $20, 2%. And Great British Pounds CAD, $19, 1.9%. Overall for those top 5, you would have made $105 or 2.1%. Definitely still is about 8% per month. So it's not the end of the world. You're cashing in all the time. So you have to be patient because things are about to change here for sure. And if we have a look at the Lucky Trader, you can see also 16 accounts. It has gone up quite nicely. Closed profit is more than 9,000. Floating profit is only 5,800. So we're on the very good side already. And that's also because we have 148 days here now of trading in here. Trades per day is 20. And also a good trade win, almost 70%. So all of them are staying quite high. And that's also why we've been able to put even more of these signals here now on the copy link service. So again, same thing, go on our website. You can look at the individual ones. They will tell you if it's on the copy link service or not. And then you head over to Expert Forex to link up with these particular new accounts and hopefully make yourself a very good profit. Here's through here, 148. We can see the entire portfolio is down 149. Previous week, 176. Again, you can see there's a limbo in play here at the moment. And the same thing, the volatile period made 863. So hopefully we'll get back to some kind of level similar to this. Now the Bell Trader for the week 13 is actually doing quite well. Normally this is the one that has produced a bit lower results, maybe because we were a bit too conservative on them. But this particular week here, we saw a nice rise and increase, especially on the Euro, Great British Pounds, with $86, 8.6%. So that's pretty much done for the entire month already. Very nice. CAD Swiss francs, $27, 2.7%. with Aussie CAD, $26, 2.6%, and then Aussie Swiss francs, $19, 1.9%, with New Zealand CAD, $16, 1.6%, and a total of $173 or 3.5%. Again, simply cashing in month after month. You don't really have to do anything if you link up to these particular accounts. It just cashes in, and you will have a similar, basically FX Blue account like we have in here. We have history of 119 days so far, 164,000, started off with 160. We have a floating profit and loss at the moment, very similar to the closed profits. But again, it drags on, and particularly for this one here, it seems to have been on the rise in the past week or two. So we'll have to monitor that. But the trade wins are above 70%, so 71.7, and trades per day is about 9.1 here at the moment. So that's why also we've been able to add an additional links in here. For some of these, you'll notice there will be more and more coming. So again, click on the portfolio and then get yourself in to have a look at the $1,000 accounts in here. At the same time, we will have a history of 119 days, so 205. So the entire portfolio is actually up from last week, a bit lower from the week before with 247. But we had some very good weeks with 400 and 500 in here. So again, we expect this to be the level to see this particular week in here. We also have to cover a couple of Alex's videos this particular week in here. And this talks about a guy that basically got into $1 million payout in here. You can watch a bit more on it. So I'll make sure that I put a link in here. I know a lot of people are interested in the prop trading. It's very difficult even to keep within the framework, but also actually keep the prop trading accounts very happy so they don't cancel you out. So most of the companies will do that. So just be aware of this. We also have another video which goes very well with what we have been mentioning through this entire video. And it says here, dangers on the way. And again, this shows some of the candle sizes, the movements in the market. And basically what Alex is saying in here is that the movement has been smaller and smaller. You can also see that our profits are going down and down. And that means that there's a big chance here that things is going to escalate again. Obviously, we want it. We want it in hopefully the right manner so that we can still manage the drawdowns in here. But there is a lot of signs at the moment that basically tells us that volatility is coming. And obviously, you just open any news channel here at the moment, you will definitely see, notice, and feel that something is coming up. And most probably that is what we're going to see in the next 24 hours after this particular video here has been released. Now, I told you also we're going to have a look at the top 5 Forex accounts for the copy link service. As usual, we are actually just setting up a search pattern because there's quite a few in there now, but we only want the ones that has less than floating profit on loss of minus 300. We also want to have total negative weeks less than 300, and we want the return on total drawdown to be above 200%. And then we put it in, search it on, and basically add it up. So high to low, you can see the highest one here, 53, and all the way down to 23 in here. So those are the top 5. Ours is marked in red over here. And we notice there's a lot of new ones in here. So the CA, the US, items like that. So obviously we clicked on some of these links, and the ones I'm about to show you is actually this 237 and 233, because the numbers look quite okay on the Excel. But then when you go and have a closer look at what is happening, so here again you have the 237. So this is the profit in here. You can see this didn't really make any profit in the beginning here. Looks like some settings has been changed, and now it seems to be doing slightly better in here. So hopefully that will continue, but there's not much data to show at the moment that this is such a good, profits over time. So it is a bit too early to actually see if this works out. We can see that the floating profit and loss is well under control, so it's only minute. I have to tell you also that these new accounts is actually $300. So this 30 is actually at 10%. So that is very reasonable in here. But again, linking up to signals this early when you haven't really seen much of a progress, maybe I wouldn't do that. I also have a look at the 233, and in here again, it looks like it didn't do anything in the beginning, and then it had a bit of a loss. It recovered, had a couple of good things, and then it looks like it stalled again. And these are some of the new EAs, so these are not the profit recovery ones in here. So this one here looks like it's pretty much status quo all the way through. And one of the items, why, again, I don't really understand why this is on here. So if you have a look at the floating profit and loss, it's above 150. So, and that obviously means that since the account was 300 in the beginning, you would have more than a drawdown of more than 50%. So all these here is not very interesting to us. At the end of the day, we don't feel that these are the ones that we actually want to trade if we want to trade anything apart from our own. Now, I did mention here earlier, and you saw the same list as you have here, link to success. So these are the new links. It's also the numbers that we have added into it. So that has now changed. So what was the 75, 27, 90 is now 1K link 192C. You can now find them on that particular list here also going forward. So go and have a look at them. Click on the individual links over here. So these are the links that you will have when they're being added, and then it takes you to FX Blue, and you can in the same manner go and have a look at the profits, see if this is actually what you like, if they correlate also what you have in here with the Excel. We're gonna most probably gonna do it in a different way in the future, because we can see there's so many of the accounts that we don't really want to recommend, basically, again, because as you saw, the drawdown is actually 50%. Other ones looks like the account stalled. And obviously you want to see a good progress all the way through, with also floating profit and loss very low. And you'll notice here that these are some of our links that we have in here. You'll notice also some of the gains. So some of the gains are a bit on the low side. You'll also see that the floating profit and loss. And we have done in the past week here again, we have taken all the bottom top 5 of our EAs, reviewed them all, and basically tried to make a bit more profit, because the drawdown is normally under control. Even this particular one here, where you have 192C, you have a drawdown on a $1,000 account of 189. That is still very much within the parameter that we expect. That's also why we have the floating profit and loss of -300. So we don't want to be going over that, but it's very difficult to keep it below, and at the same time also trying to get some good profits in here. You can see a lot of our signals are creating massive profits. A lot of them have a lot of green in here, and you can also see the week's links. Some of these are extremely old all the way through. It means that they have survived everything that the market had to throw at them at the moment. And obviously the feedback we have gotten from some people that are trading our links, we would like to hear more from other ones. Feel free also to add in a comment of how long you've been using the high-tech investment links and what kind of profits you've made so far. If you're happy, unhappy, or if there's something that we need to do different, or what you would like to see in the future, then now is the time to add it into the comments. So this is what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, there is good opportunities for you out there to actually make a buck or two, to actually put some investments in, especially on the trading side, the link to success service. There is plenty of opportunities, and it's actually all in your hands. You can decide exactly which links you want to add into, which ones you don't. And you can even, with the individual links, as I said, scale up or scale down to manage your risk strategy here. You can actually get out of it again, because nobody actually holds on to any of your money. So all these are very good ideas. And obviously you have so many signals to compare to that you can handpick just the best ones. Now, obviously, we're going to continue to expand on all these here in the future. And obviously, again, we will show everything once more next week. Hopefully, we will have a volatile week in here, so cashing in big time. And then we'll have to see where the rest of the world, as ends up, if it's going to be on its feet or it's going to be flat on the face. Time will tell, so please tune in next week again and hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.